זה גם כן בסדר.
כאן אני בבית של אלן, ואנחנו עכשיו מצלמים סרט, ומי שמצלם את הסרט הזה זה אבא שלי, שאבא שלי בעצם הוא צלם, שהוא צלם בערוץ 2, והוא מצלם הרבה חיות וגם את החדשות, אני חושבת שהוא הצלם הכי טוב בעולם.
And now I would like to present.
ועכשיו אני רוצה להציג את אלן.
And here I am, full of piss and vinegar. You want to sit? Where do you want to sit? ועכשיו את אומרת לאנשים מי את ומי אני ומי זה. כן, פשוט. קוראים לי... רוצה? לא, בסדר, לא צריך. I'm taking my last puff of a cigarette before they outlaw it, where they're not going to let you even smoke in your own house. So as long as I'm free, I shall use it. Okay, what are we going to do right now? This is it's like an experiment, but isn't kind of everything in life like that. And it might get used as an opening for the internet site. That's why don't we make a new term in intersite. Why internet site? Why not intersite? Nah? Simple, no? Okay. Now we're sitting here in the year 2005, January 2005, in the Galilee, in the Holy Land, Israel, if you want to look at it on your map, because I mean, if this gets onto an intersite site, someone might be pressing a button in, I don't know, the Falkland Islands. That's almost the South Pole after Argentina. Who knows? Anyway, here we are now, January 2004. It's kind of here now. Angry. Actually, all hell is broken loose in the past few years, but I mean, everything passes so quick, everyone forgets about it. I mean, what am I going to do tonight? Hey, Marty. Streetcar Named Desire, I think. Marlon Brando just died. They sat over a table in the kitchen and said, hey, Marty, what do you want to do, Marty? And Marty said, well, that's what I remember from the movie. So we asked him, what are you going to do tonight? You know, a couple of 100,000 people just got drowned over there. The Americans are just over there in Baghdad, and they're, you know, everyone's shooting at everybody, blowing up cars. And President George W. Bush is having his inauguration as a second-term president of the United States tomorrow. They had a big party, cost millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're talking about it on CNN. How much money on the party they're throwing for his inauguration. California just had a big landslide. Out of nowhere, the mountain disappeared. Just flowed down all these houses, you know. They said, right, you know, maybe you could give the money to them to help them. I heard that it cost $5 million more than the last time. I don't know what it cost last time. Look at you. We're not into other people's pockets. I mean, let them do what they want. But, I mean, it is not very normal days we're living in. Arafat died a few weeks ago. Everything has got, They're waiting for, who? God knows what comes next. There's a little background of, you know, what's going on. I'm going to show you something soon. Be patient. Maybe you're not into history or current affairs. Maybe I'm always going to do it tonight. Why are we watching this video? There are billions of channels on sites on internet, and you have to pick up this funny guy. Then he's not really so funny, even. Okay. This is not exactly what I intended. I intended to do something. Oh, God knows what I intended to do. Is this going to be an opening for the site? It's really an experiment. You might be just witnessing. You know, sometimes the first time you do something, the experiment turns out to be best. So they say. We shall see. How am I doing? Okay? Tamara made this leather bag, before she went to India. Credit where credit is due. It's getting hot in here. May I? Well, I guess it's good enough that you get a little bit of a picture of when this intersite went online, if that's the right expression. A few months ago, a few years ago, a few months ago, God knows, blowing up buses around, you know. So we have a revolution going on here. Well, Palestinian state in the making, lots of blood. Oh, what? Lots of blood. Nobody knows anymore who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. As a matter of fact, in the world we're living today, nobody believes there is a good guy. We're all bad guys. The myth of good guys disappeared. Nobody believes nobody. You believe nothing you see on television, you believe nothing you read in the newspaper, and you believe nothing about what anybody says. Huh? Yeah. I feel like I can put some music on that, but maybe when this comes up, you know, we'll back it up with a music track just so that you won't get too bored. So what did you do last night? Well, listen to the guy talking. What? I mean, you know, no music? So give some music. In case you have to explain it to somebody tomorrow about what you did tonight. Or maybe you're listening to it in the middle of the morning, I don't know. Are you one of those unemployed people? Living off the government? You don't feel guilty about that? Don't, I mean, no time for guilt. So one of the things that are going to be on the site, probably one of the first things, are these 2 packs of cards. They are who cards? Who? And some people look and say, why? Who? So I'm going to tell you why who. Who is a special sound. Like, if I can remember, like Allahu. In one tradition. In another tradition they say Hakadosh Baruch Hu. A few other things as well, but we won't go into it right now. But there is a reason behind the madness, should it appear such. Then there is this. Can you take a look at this? You'll have it on your site more clearly, but okay, so we don't have to go too far with that. Now, what I have been considering doing is on this site that you can press a button and you'll hear somebody read it. And that somebody might be me. And you can press another button on your screen and you might get a video like you got here. Yeah. So I've been considering opening these cards at random, reading it, and maybe saying a few words as if commentary. We'll see how it works. Can you... I'm shuffling right now. I'm shuffling. You see shuffling? Actually, on the internet site, it goes like this. It's all, and you can pick one and... Never mind. This site's going to be very user-friendly. So user-friendly, you're not going to believe it. So I'm going to pick any old card here. Here we got it. Before I read it, you read it. Usually one picks a card. I'm going to suggest one a day. And they turn out to be very strangely magic almost. It says something, But this hasn't got to do with a particular person. It has to do with what's going on now, I guess. Just came out of the pack. Now, what does it say? It says, attention is light, is love, is God. Now that really is what they call a mouthful. That's not poetic. The word God is a little bit difficult, but I mean, it'd be very useful to simplify it a bit. This is sort of in the direction of simplification. Attention comes from your consciousness. And actually, there is only one consciousness. Not yours, mine, and the million other people that are watching this. One consciousness. Like one air. Goes in, out, you breathe it in. Like one water. Water's a good one. It gets broken up into little puddles sometimes. But water is water. Maybe dirty water, maybe salty water. It may be gushing out of a spring. It might be flooding a continent and killing a couple 100,000 people. It could be saving somebody in the desert from dying. See, good and bad and everything. Interesting. How can you judge water? Yeah? You can drown in it, or you can make Coca-Cola out of it. Saki, cameraman behind, play straight man. I see you're enjoying it. That's why it's good to have people around. You can pretend you're human. I'm pretending. Attention. Everyone actually, you know, it's just words. But the words that are true also are logical in a way. There's not your consciousness and someone else's consciousness. The consciousness inside of ourselves is God to the mechanical. The consciousness is another level. It can watch our moods changing, our thoughts changing. It can see us jumping out of, it can remember us jumping out of an airplane if we're stupid enough to do that, or making love in bed if we're stupid enough to do that. Oh, that's just a mixy. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by it? It's stupid. So what does it matter? Stupid. Should we talk about that a little bit? What do you want to talk about? What actually interests you is what interests me, and which prompts me to do what I'm doing right now, acting the comic, sometimes the cynic, sometimes as if. So having met a few people in my life and seen a few things and written a few things, I imagine, it's a strange word, look at that later, that I have some idea about, what was I asking before? What interests you? Yeah, what interests you? Somebody nodded out there, you know, they're very discreet, don't open their mouths. Respectful, ya Allah. So I assume that these cards and other things that will come up on the site will actually speak to people. Possibly things that they already know, but they don't have the words for it. I'm not so sure this card is the best example. By the way, on the other side of the cards, I'll show you the other pack in a minute, we've got this, whatever you want to call it. Some people say, it's ugly, what? It looks like a frog. But there's an awful lot in there. Maybe at some point I'll talk about it. I haven't talked about it yet. I don't want to talk about it. Because it actually what's in it has nothing to do with words. It has to do with energy. That's a hint. So someone will either, or they won't. Or maybe 1 out of 1,000 will. Or not. Don't know. Okay, on this card, we want to keep it short. If we're going to have a few words on each card, well, doesn't matter. The site can be... I'd like to give you enough to keep you busy for the rest of your life, if the truth be known. Now, if this is too much for you, don't go to another site because it's only going to get worse. Your patience and your pride, vanity, and self-importance are going to be tested to the last drop. If your personality likes me, you're a liar. And don't think I don't know it, even though I speak to you as if so respectfully. However, your personality is really not you. That's a whole story. You might get a few of these books or something else, you might get an idea of what I mean. I would like to sum it up in one statement, in one sentence. I've been trying that for a long time. It's not, it doesn't, I don't know. Actually, the truth of the matter is, eventually, your understanding, if it's to become solid, has to come down to one word. One word. All other words are to clear up words or get you down to the one word. What does he mean by that? Couldn't talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. If you stop talking to them, maybe you'd open your eyes, maybe you get to understand them. You start talking to them, all you do is confuse each other, no? One word. But I'll see we're not quite at that point yet, at least now. Then we'll talk about it. Attention is light. Light that comes from consciousness. Consciousness is light. Consciousness existed before you were born. It's from another level. Consciousness is light, is love. You know, something outside of this balagan that we call life, that sometimes we call God, is very neutral to all your machinations. I've never used that word before. Machinations? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. All your body language, all your you know, all that stuff that goes on. Yeah. Now I feel like I lost everybody's attention. Maybe did I lose your attention? Is it too much? Should we go into another card? We're going to do that. Attention is light. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. This thing above is you know, it's that's what it's called God, the all compassionate. Nothing can touch consciousness at this level. It all just reflects on consciousness. Consciousness sees. You can't hurt consciousness. Interesting thought, no? Attention is light. Light is love. Is God. Well, a lot of people, you can argue with that. I mean, what do the words mean? I mean, when I say God, is it what you mean? Or when I say love, is it what you mean? If it rings a bell, and you got nothing better to do, you can feel it. Maybe combined with other things might take you out of your agony for a little while. Okay, that's can be used in different ways. Now we're going to pick another card, all right? You with me? I want a hand here. I want a hand, just a hand, pick a card. Thank you very much. Oh, goodness sake. It's very interesting, very impersonal ones. Usually when people pick for themselves, you know, should I give an example of a personal one? No, I won't do that. This one says, can we go? I'm glad just to hold it here for a minute. I can stop talking and catch my breath. I can relax, and you can relax. And nobody wants to get too serious. Yeah. So it says, the devil, colon, it's like, what's the devil? What's the devil? Should we talk about it before we read it? Oh, you already read it, so go ahead. The devil, it says here, colon, is a psychological rationale. I'll describe the word just in case, you know, you might be an Eskimo or a Chinaman listening. Excuse me, a Chinese. How do you call yourself? You should see what they call you in the West. You know, slanty-eyed, yellow-skinned guy who washes clothes or makes chop suey. You know. Prejudice, what can you do? People know everything about everything. Anyways, how did I get to that? I lost myself. You're not paying attention. If you pay attention, I won't lose myself. I have to, yeah, but I can, anyway. A psychological rationale. Rationale is like rational, you know? Logical explanation, a rationale. A psychological explanation is another way of saying it. The devil is a psychological rationale based on displeasure. my explanation of why I'm uncomfortable, basically. Or my action that comes from that. Mechanical. Nobody knows how to think about it. They have, not nobody, but generally speaking, they're trying to figure everything out. No knowledge. Nothing has come, well, I don't know. This world that we live in now, everyone's killing everybody else, if not with guns and blood in their heart. They're killing people in their heart all the time. What a field of violence, propped up by satellite television, internet, cellular phones. You can hate anybody at a distance now. Lie to them, sell them any story you want. They can't see your face. People wouldn't know a lie if they heard it, generally speaking. You're okay. I know you're okay. Don't get angry. I don't mean you. Anybody's on this site must be crazy. I don't know. Or I don't know. What? Crazy. How can you be crazy in this world? You know anything that isn't crazy? Anyway. That's his card. The devil, psychological rationale based on displeasure. In simpler terms, the devil is your mechanical reaction from your mind, your body, your emotions that happens like this with an explanation, and then you sell it or demand it. Or you get angry and disappointed because nobody else explains, doesn't believe you, or they don't see it the way you do. It's all, you don't know where it came from, you don't know what it's based on. You're not feeling good, displeasure. That's the devil. We live in the world of devils. Self-protective. Sometimes you call them egoists. People think they know what that means. Not people who are conscious that their consciousness is God. It's so oversimplified it makes me feel silly that I even said it. Next card. I'll try to make it quicker. I don't want to bore anybody. Next card. This is also all these very impersonal. This card says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 seconds. That's all you got. Keep you on your toes. This one says, it doesn't matter what they say. They never do it anyway. Well, this isn't actually world-shaking. You want me dead on, right? I'm supposed to forget that she's here, right? Look, I'll try. It doesn't matter what they say. They never do it anyway. What allows you to do something? That you say, I'm going to do, and then, half an hour later, a day later, a week later, if by any chance you remember it, it's pure common sense. In order to do anything, circumstances have to be right. You have to have the right energy. You've got to remember what you want to do. The people or the pieces have to be there at the time. What can you say? It's like in the Sermon on the Mount, not to swear. Don't swear. I won't get the book out now. It's being printed. It's on the site. You'll see, if this site is on, we're going to have this thing between the lines from the Sermon on the Mount. There's an incredible text. I don't remember it word for word, but there's that part that says, an oath. You were told by your forefathers, that's in the Jewish way, that if you make an oath to God, keep it. And what I say to you is don't make an oath. Don't swear to anything. You can't change one hair on your head from black to white, white to black. I go into a whole description in this of what I think about that. In a way, this card is, everything's connected with everything. Anything that's true connects with everything else that's true. I didn't think of the Sermon on the Mount when I listened, you know. No matter what they say, never do it anyway. They might do something approximately. It's like everyone going around with these mobile phones now. I hardly use phone. So I've been listening a lot to people who use phones in various parts of the world where I've found myself. And you listen in a house where somebody, yeah, I'll meet you at 2 o'clock tomorrow on Wednesday. I'll look at my diary. There was a period of time, I was in London, I was in New York, I was in San Francisco, wherever it was. It became aware that every time someone made an appointment on the telephone, they never kept it. They didn't even expect to. I'm delayed, I have toothache, I go to the doctor, my mother called me, a toothache. It's always rearranged. Have you noticed that, anybody? Am I boring you? No, everything okay? Good. Maybe someone opens the window wider, please. This is an experiment, right? If it's going very good, we'll continue. Shall we continue? Maybe it'll be useful. Nobody says anything? I'll have to decide. I'm going to go to the other pack of cards. Why should I do that? We'll stick to the same pack. You don't mind, no? Okay. Variety, if you want variety, press a few buttons there, you know, you go back to the menu. I think that's probably going to, I don't know very much about internet, but I think they have a place where you can choose. You got to go and take care of the children. Okay. And that's the card that comes up here. It says the timing is 9/10 of a right action. I don't think there's much to say about that. If you can't ponder that by yourself, I mean, you're on the wrong site, buddy. Well, what I'm thinking now is this has some kind of energy and some kind of mood, some kind of background. And just possibly, it might be a very generalized introduction to the site. We're still working it, you know. I want to make this so, everyone has got so much to do and so many obligations and so many things to think about, measure and note in your notepad, in your diary, and your numbers in your telephone, and your, I don't know, so much to do. So we're going to try to make this so, I don't know, it's a good idea, user-friendly. You don't have to think of anything technical, so to speak, unless we can look at the spirit of the intention. That's really what we're interested in this site, the spirit of the intention. And if it coincides with your deepest, your deepest intention, if it doesn't coincide with your deepest intention, then don't waste your time, even if it looks interesting. Maybe it can be so user-friendly that people, you know, just want to play with it. They can do that as well. I can't harm you. It's better than a blue movie, for sure. At least some people think so. I wouldn't argue with them. Or the reverse. And, you know, nothing happens with argument. Nothing. So, in a certain way, I guess, what do I want from this? So you get to get a little bit of feeling of me, whoever that might be. Can. Here, you see, now you know I love children, so you know. If you didn't trust me now, wait a second. We're in the movies. What did you want?
אולי שזה ציור או משהו, משהו לתן לטעמי.
I wish I knew enough Hebrew in order to understand you, but we're going to be finished here very soon, and then I'll answer you. Okay? Can you wait a bit? Can you wait a bit?
אבל אני חייבת.
אבל משהו. Can you maybe draw me a picture I would understand? I don't understand the words. Can you draw a picture? No?
אני צריך No.
Okay, we're back to you now. We're doing also, you know, maybe for the children, and I don't know. This world has knocked us around so much. Even we've got goodwill and good intentions and a little bit of experience, we still don't know whether we're, you know, we don't trust ourselves in a way because we got knocked in the head and the heart so many times that even when we try to be just open and honest and whatnot, we don't know whether that's really sincere or not. I wrote a poem once. I shall let you have it. I think it's on one of the cards, maybe the adult tarot cards, if you want to remember that, that goes, I forget. Wait a second. Just wait a second. Whew. I'm so excited talking to you, I lost myself. What was I talking about? Wait, no. You see what happens? I mean, life goes on. The child wants something. Now, we can figure out what that is right away, right? Because, I mean, what is the good of this internet site to tell you to act, you know, try to be normal. We're trying to be normal. So I'm going to try to be normal. Now, this child understands a little bit of English, but mainly Hebrew. Nachon? Yeah. So what are you trying to tell me?
אפשר לתת לתמי חבילה של קלפים?
כן.
התנה.
She asked whether she can bring. Go on, you know, it doesn't matter. She got what she wanted. It was for somebody else. Wonderful child, wonderful. She always thinks of somebody else. Wonderful. I guess also she wanted it for herself too. Call it selfish? No, yeah, I don't know. People like to play with people. Oh. So, where were we? Yeah. So you got a little bit of, I don't know. I guess if this is on the site, I will accept the impression that people, you know, might get from me. I don't know if it matters. It doesn't really matter. This is not really so important. I mean, to you, what are you going to, you look at me, what are you going to get? What are you going to figure out? And what difference does it make in your life? Maybe the material talks to you. It doesn't matter who I am or who you guess I am. What matters is if you slowly understand who and what you are so that you can be fully what you are and serve the truth. Because God knows this world needs it, you need it, for sure. The truth, that is. Now, if this stuff can help you, then I was going to say I would be satisfied. I'm satisfied anyways. I'm doing my best. That satisfies me. At the moment. And what future will have, I mean, I'll be amazed if this actually gets on the internet. Because there's so many steps ahead. Maybe some editing, collecting the material, making the site. It could take a year to make, I don't know. We have a number of friends around that are quite enthusiastic about the spirit of the matter, i.e. sanity. So maybe it moves along good and quick, and good and quick doesn't interest so much, but I don't know, if it's not good and quick, the world could end, and you could, you know, you could go out making all the mistakes that you've been making all the time. That'd be a shame. Because the end that comes with death comes to everyone, and it really does matter how you leave. It really does matter how you leave. Now, you can take that as you wish. The dropping of the body is not the end of the story. If you were care to investigate the issue, not only from religious angles, but there's so much going on there, you can believe it or not believe it. Everyone's giving a different story about what's going on and what spirit is and what after is and what not. Don't believe any of it. Get to know yourself, then you know what spirit is and what isn't. But until you know that, you can look at these and realize that, you know, as I say, you know, 100,000 Frenchmen can't be wrong. That's an old expression from my parents' generation. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You got thousands of internet sites that are telling you about channeling and telling you about all kinds of as if strange things, but there is more than we pick up with our 5 senses, for sure. What we really are is much, much infinitely larger than what we take ourselves in these few years that we're here, generally speaking. Don't want to insult anybody. That's lovely, you see. That's somebody's phone, cameraman's phone. He's so embarrassed, you know. He's a professional and he doesn't like, and he's acting Sandman. And if a sound man did that to him while he's working on Channel 2, God knows where in the West Bank, shooting and being shot at almost, he'd kill him. And there it happened to him. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Because it adds to his humility. And now he knows those things can happen to anybody. Even when you're doing a piece of work from your love. And not just shooting some kafia. What do they call it? This 47 AK cuckoo kaka gun. Everybody got different. There's Uzis and everybody knows the name of the guns now. And he's been photographing them. Anyway, you see, from God and consciousness to CNN, that's a long way. A long way. It's a long, long... Shall we close it? It's a long, long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long, long way to Tipperary. Somebody, da, da, I know. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 worthwhile. Da, da. Oh, it's another song. You're back in your old kick bag and smile, smile, smile. I think I got 2 songs there. But there's a couple of records on this thing. And I don't know. There you got a taste of someone who feels as useless as you. I don't know. Who can know what they do and what it'll do? And I mean, it's give it a good try, right? Give it a good try. Maybe if nothing, give it a good try. Be amazed how far that can go sometimes. Bye for now. Go back to the buttons that you know so well. See what comes up. Ta. Shalom Aleichem, and in Arabic it says Salam Aleichem. It's the same words actually, you know. They got their hands on each other's necks. One's saying Shalom Aleichem, the other say Salam Aleikum, and they shook each other. It means actually peace to you, or peace to us, or something like that. Words are cheap. They're cheap, cheap, cheap. You can't learn anything from words yourself. They can help you sometimes, maybe show you that there's some kindred souls in this world. And you're not the only whatever. Bye.